You've heard it all your life. 1.4 billion people, the most populated nation on earth. But what if I told you that number might be a lie? What if the real population of China is far, far lower? Some say under a billion. Some say as low as 800 million or even 500 million. Tonight, we ask the controversial question that few dare to ask. What is the true population of China, and why would someone hide it? Now, according to the Chinese government and international organizations, China's population is currently sitting at 1.4 billion people, a number that has placed them at the center of global manufacturing, military might, and geopolitical influence. Their growth was explosive during the 20th century, from around 550 million in 1950 to nearly triple that by 2020. But here's where it gets strange. Entire cities built, but no one living there. They're known as ghost cities. Massive infrastructure with no population to support it. And then a sudden pivot happens. China officially enters population decline that they at least admit to in 2023. But what if the decline started decades ago and was simply covered up? Now, let's dive into the speculation. And it's not from fringe theorists. No, there's an expert named Yi Fuxian. He's a researcher at the University of Wisconsin. And he has suggested that China's real population may be overestimated by hundreds of millions. In 2021, Yi claimed the real number may already be under 1 billion, with birth rates far lower than reported and death rates possibly concealed. China is facing an aging crisis. Nearly 20% of its population is over the age of 60. But if the real numbers are worse, what does that mean for their economy, their military, and their future? Factories replacing people with machines, schools closing due to no students, hospitals overloaded, not from population surges, but aging and dying citizens. Now, why would China lie? Why would they hide the truth? If China's population is really somewhere between 500 and 800 million, that is a difference of close to a billion people, depending on which end of that spectrum. China's rise to power has been built on the foundation of scale. A billion people means a billion workers, a billion consumers, a billion soldiers, at least on paper. Watch this video clip here from two different individuals who have ties to China, showing you video evidence that China's population is a lie and that it is much worse than you could even imagine.
这就是现在北京实体店的现状。
This is the current situation of physical stores in Beijing. Too few people.
这人太少了。
Beijing has lost at least 1 million people. There is no one in the subway, the roads are not congested, and the condos cannot be rented out even at $270. There are only over 10 people in the entire subway. The official Chinese Communist Party claims that China has a population of 1.4 billion. But a large number of online videos show that not only are the cities and the mainland deserted, but the countryside is also empty. More and more people are questioning China's population data. According to official data from the authorities, China's population has only declined slightly, but the public feels far from that. Videos shot by netizens from all over the country show that once bustling shopping malls and streets in many places have become deserted, even in first-tier cities such as Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen.
I decide to finally confront the question head-on. China's real population is not anywhere near 800 million either. It's somewhere between 300 and 400 million. Yes, you heard that right. China's actual population may be only a fraction of the official 1.4 billion. And after the lockdown ended at the end of 2022, China experienced an upsurge in COVID-related fatalities from the end of 2022 to early months of 2023. And he estimated another 120 million Chinese died during that period. And his number is based on some internal data from Beijing's police department. So in January of 2023, at least 8,000 to 10,000 people died daily in hospitals in Beijing. As of now, or in 2024 and 2025, people are still dying. So the total number of casualties may be more than his 422 million and may even reach 500 million. This indirectly confirms that China's population is about half of what it was before the pandemic. It indirectly supports my estimate that the population was 800 million before the pandemic and is now somewhere around 400 million. It's cut in half.
Shocking. I know. And with fewer people, China loses its greatest leverage, the illusion of scale. A smaller population could devastate its economy, shake investor confidence, and weaken its position on the world stage. Now, how do we get evidence? How do we see the proof? Well, let's look at the evidence from where? From the sky, maybe even from space. Researchers have analyzed satellite imagery over the years. The results that they have found when it comes to China, entire regions show suspiciously low activity. Electricity use doesn't match the population claims, and infrastructure continues to go unused. Even foreign intelligence agencies have quietly speculated that China may be facing a demographic collapse, much more severe than they're letting on. So what if it's true? What if China's entire population of being the most populated nation in the world is all a lie? What happens if all this speculation is actually true? What if the real population is 800 million? What if it's even as low as 500 million? A shrinking, aging population of China means economic stagnation. Fewer workers, more dependence, nationalistic desperation, and a potential power vacuum that could reshape global order. Could China become more aggressive to compensate? Could internal unrest rise as the promises of prosperity go unfilled? Could this cause them to finally attempt to seize the nation of Taiwan? In the end, we may never know the exact truth. This is a communist dictator regime, but the cracks are showing. And in an age of big data, satellites, and AI, the truth is becoming harder and harder to bury than ever before. Now, the world believes that China has 1.4 billion people. But if they don't, everything changes globally. What about you? Do you believe the narrative of 1.4 billion people? Or do you believe it's actually much less? Let's not forget about the wah and the jab and the C-19 that originated there, many more than what they produced in numbers on the media are believed to have lost their life to that as well in China, not to mention the communist spin of the numbers. What do you think? Comment down below. Let me know what you believe. Do you believe it's 1.4 billion? Do you believe the narrative, or do you believe it's actually much less? Like, share, and subscribe if you want us to go more deep dive investigations like this. The truth is out there, and I'm willing to go look for it, but I need you to be behind me. Because remember, we ain't woke, but we certainly are awake. See you next time on The Big Picture. God bless.